All right, so we're going to find the equation of a line tangent to a curve at a given point. So here's just a visual of what we're trying to do. We've got some curve, f of x. Yep, it's a function. Should you draw the pictures that I put?
Yes.
Yeah, you should do everything. I mean, some of you sit there like you know what to take notes over, like you've done this before. Okay? You know nothing about this. You should write everything down. Unless you have a, like you remember everything that's said to you, spoken to you, which 99.5% of students don't remember everything that's said to them, or anything that's said to them. Okay? So, write this down. This is a visual of what we're doing. We're finding the equation of a line tangent to a curve at a given point. So here is the curve. Would you agree that that's the curve?
Yeah.
Okay. Tangent to a curve. The curve is called f of x. We pick a point on the curve, right here. There's your point. We'll call it x1, comma y1. So your given point is x1, comma y1. Or they might just give you an x value, or they'll just say x equals x1. Okay, so they could name that point by just giving you an x value or giving you the ordered pair. It's both ways in your homework today. So we want to write the equation of a line, okay? Of a line. What's the equation of a line look like?
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. Very good. So the equation of a line looks like y equals mx plus b. So find an equation y equals mx plus b. Here's our curve, here's our point, but what does tangent mean? She's right there.
You missing a book. Yeah.
It's been there for a long time. She hasn't really missed it, I think. I told her about it a while ago too. Okay. So I know she hasn't been reading her stats book.
We're supposed to read them?
You do?
Yeah.
You better bring the other one back. Okay. All right, so find the equation of a line. So we know the line has, so aren't we asked to find the equation of a line? Isn't that our task? So our answer to this has to be a y equals mx plus b, right? That's what our answer has to be, a line. What does tangent to a curve mean? Touches it at one point. So my line, my linear equation, can only go through that point, and it has to look like this. So we need to write the equation of that line. So what information do you need to know to write the equation of a line? You need to know the slope to write a linear equation. You need the slope, right, which is m, and what else? What else? I'm not going to be given the y-intercept. Usually you aren't given the y-intercept. You need a point. You need the slope, m, and a point on the line. In fact, my answer is only going to look like y equals mx plus b. The way I'm going to start a linear equation, I'm going to start with point-slope form. Point-slope form is the greatest linear equation form there is. It's easiest to work with. Point-slope form, if you don't know what it is, looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Where x1, comma y1 is a point on the line. So the x1 and the y1 come from the point on the line, and m is the slope. Okay, so I'm always going to start with this. So here's what an example problem would look like. This is an example problem from, it would say, oh, let me write the directions down. Example. So find an equation of the tangent line to the graph of f at the given point. Problem example number 1. y equals x to the 4th over 2 plus 3x at x equals 0. So we've got some function. We would like to find the equation of the line tangent to this curve at x equals 0. So I'll just tell you right now, this is just a very rough sketch. I have no idea what this equation looks like, but if I graph this, I'm pretty sure that it'll look kind of like this, because a 4th power equation looks like a W or an M. You should know that from Algebra 2. And we're looking for, and I don't know for sure if it looks, I mean it could go up like this more. I'm looking for the equation of the tangent line right at x equals 0. So here's the x-axis at x equals 0. I'm looking for the equation of the tangent line right there. Okay, now you don't need to draw pictures to do these though. You don't need to be able to draw pictures to do these. So if I'm writing the equation of the tangent line, I basically have like two columns. I have my tangent line, which is my answer, and then I have another column of work to find that tangent line. So my tangent line looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That is what I always start with to write my equation of the tangent line. What do I need to find? Okay, for my work, I need to find two things. I need to find x1 comma y1, the point. Didn't we say earlier we have to find a point on the line? And we have to find m, the slope. So first I'll find x1 comma y1. And sometimes they just give it to you. If they give you an ordered pair, then you already have x1, y1. But in this case, they don't. They just say x equals 0. How do I find the y? So I know that x1 is 0. How do I find the y value?
Plug it 0 into x.
Very good. Plug 0 into the function.
Then it's just 0.
So you put 0 in for both of these x's. 0 to the 4th divided by 2 plus 3 times 0 is 0. So in this particular problem, the point the line goes through, the tangent line goes through, is 0, 0. So that means that that's x1 and y1. Well, that's nice. What goes in place of y1? 0. So I can just write y equals, if it's minus 0, do you have to write minus 0? No. And then m times x minus 0, which is just x. Okay, so I found 0, 0, and I put it in there. And now I have to find what? Slope. Okay, so how do I find the slope of a curve? What does slope mean in calculus? Derivative. So m is found by finding y prime and putting x1 in. So the slope is found by finding the derivative at 0. Okay, so I'm moving to another piece of paper. I'll recopy some of the things I have here. Okay, so we were finding the tangent line, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We found that the x1 comma y1 was 0 comma 0, so we plugged it in. You can plug it in if it makes you feel better. And now we're finding m, and m is y prime at the x value. The slope is simply the derivative at the x value they give you. So my function was y equals x to the 4th over 2 plus 3x. So I can use my shortcut rules to find the derivative. The power rule, I multiply by 4. So 4 divided by 2 is what? 2. And subtract 1 from the power, and it becomes x to the 3rd. And the derivative of 3x is 3. So there's my derivative. And what's the x value that I need to plug in? At what is their x value? 0. So if I plug 0 in for x, what do I get?
3.
What's the derivative at 0? It's 3. So derivative is the same as what? Slope. So the derivative at the point is my slope. This is my slope. So I put 3, now I go up here and I put 3 in for m, and so I have y equals 3x is my equation of my tangent line. So you want to see another one, I'm sure? Maybe you don't, but you should see another one. So same directions as before, let's find the equation of a line tangent to a curve. This is example 2. Y equals 3x squared minus 10 at x equals 2. Okay, these problems are not very difficult. So, tangent line. Tangent line is my answer. Okay, my answer. And then over here I'm going to do the work. I'm going to find x1 comma y1 and find m. Basically that's what you have to do every time. I have to write my tangent line, which is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Just a show of hands, how many of you have seen that before now, maybe? Okay, that's good. I wish every algebra teacher would just use that to teach writing equations. All right, so how do I find x1 comma y1? X1 is given, so x1 equals 2. So now how do I find y1? Plug 2 into y equals 3x squared minus 10. So y is 3 times 4 minus 10, or what? 2. All right, so what's our x1, y1? 2 comma 2. So now I can take that and put it up here. So y minus 2 equals m times x minus 2. Okay, now how do I find m? Okay, y prime at x equals what? X equals 2, whatever our x value is. So here's y equals 3x squared minus 10. What's the derivative of 3x squared? 6x. What's the derivative of negative 10? 0. So at x equals 2, so y prime is 6 times 2, or 12. What is that in our problem? M. That's m. That's the slope. So I go and I put 12 in right there. So y minus 2 equals 12 times x minus 2. Okay, so now let's say I don't want my answer like that. I want it in y equals mx plus b. What should I do? I want to distribute and get y minus 2 equals 12x minus 24, and then add or subtract, so add 2 to both sides, and my tangent line equation is y equals 12x minus 22.